Hey, how you doing? Wait a second, is it not working? Sound, one, two, mic check. Okay, it's working. Not bad, you're working with Blender? Yeah, I'm gonna start working with Blender just in a second. I'm gonna be doing the assets for this zone. I'm gonna be unwrapping them and making them ready for to getting hand painted. I think it's this. Yeah, I'm gonna start working on the barrels. And yeah, there's a lot of assets here that I can start adding some textures. So first I'm gonna start with the barrel and then the crate and then slowly work my way up, finalizing the trees, the burned down trees. You're starting with a human character? That's cool. Yeah, share some progress, right? I don't know if you have anything added for Blender here. Nope. Oh yeah, you have. Cool. Like I said, if you want to make it yourself easy, just take a free base mesh from a human and then start from there. No hot water? Why? You don't have to be anywhere, right? It's weekend. You can shower later. Let the water get warm. Oh, you have to work tonight. Damn. Yeah, that's rough, man. 7 days. 7 days a week working is. It's crazy. I couldn't do it. I need my weekends. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna start with the barrel. I have to unwrap it onto a UV space. I have to think about it really good so I can keep reusing the texture. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun blocking in this in 3D code, hand painting. But for now, I'm adding something different here. Quest log. Ooh, that's not good. That's all kinds of messed up. Yeah, they're the wrong size, and also it doesn't start correct. It started somewhere up there, way up there. And it's also like I can move it in a weird way. I don't know. I think maybe I had this here. It's it's just a test for now, so who cares? But yeah, it keeps everything. This is more about combat, and then later on I'm gonna be adding other stuff to it, like accepting quests, finishing quests. I don't even know if this is needed, you know. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know why I need to. This is more like for well, for multiplayer, right? It doesn't have to be. You can add it like this if you want to know what's happening in the game, but I'm rethinking now, like, why would I distract myself from the game? It's not like I can sit here and be still, you know, and But yeah, it's a nice little thing, right? Maybe I edit, maybe I don't. I don't know. Yeah, the scroll box is off. On one big change, my project I'm starting over 100% and keeping it all on an external drive so that I can use. That's cool. So you can keep it, take it with you, and keep playing with it. You can do what I do, like uh, on AQ. Yeah, but it's different on AQ. It's multiplayer, so right. Multiplayer, you have to keep stuff. Uh, this I don't know if this is needed. You know, I have everything in here. It's already keeping everything here. So adding this, I don't know. We'll see. I can always make it available for people to enable it or disable it. Not referring to that part, I use it for tracking my damage. Yeah, this is the same thing, tracking the damage, how hard I get hit. Just wait until I fix the phones, you're gonna see everything. It tracks everything, experience, damage, healing. It's kinda annoying when I go down here. So I gotta make it also draggable. It's like seeing how often my crit goes off and how big they hit for. Yeah, that's pretty cool if you want it exactly, but you know, I got to see my crit here pop up. If I had a crit, look at that. This is what I mean, like with the new navigation mesh. He's now all confused. Like he got stuck because he cannot decide how to walk. Like because this rock is underneath the terrain, and under the terrain there's also navigational mesh baked. But because the nav mesh cleaner doesn't work in the new version, I cannot clean it up. So now he gets stuck between where to walk. I cannot walk under the terrain, and then he gets stuck. So I pretty much basically screwed myself up by upgrading to 2022. They really have to fix the bug with this, guys. Let me see if I can go to. I think it's gonna be easier like this. So now I'm gonna show you what I mean. And I'm getting killed. Yeah, the nav mesh obstacle. That needs to be fixed. Let me just get out of the way. I don't hear these annoying sounds. Okay. So I'm gonna show you what I mean. So this is your new navigation system, right? And then you have your objects pulled into the terrain, right? And then they go underneath the terrain. And as you can see here, if I don't have these nav mesh obstacles enabled, it's gonna bake the navigational mesh even under here, right? So as you can see, if I disable all of these objects now, wait a second, yes, here, then you're gonna see what I mean. Now the navigational mesh appears underneath, and if I have an NPC on top of it here, he's all gonna get confused if sometimes then the AI is trying to find a pet where he wants to walk. So he's gonna walk underneath here, and he's gonna try to walk, and then he's gonna get stuck. And that's why they have invented this obstacle. But like I explained, these obstacles sometimes, I showed you yesterday, they stop the NPCs from walking. But if you have a lot of objects like me, like this, and you want to remove the navigational mesh on top because nobody's going to be walking here, no NPC is going to be walking, you have to add this on top of it. So what's going to happen, or you have to add it underneath, it's going to bug out the game sometimes. Just like here, sometimes for no reason, you can see the navigational mesh is baked pretty nice. They're gonna get stuck here. And I don't know why. I know it's because of this object, because once I disable this, they start to walk. Once I enabled it, they stop. But there is no other way to clean it up. Like in 2021, you have the nav mesh cleaner. Let me see. Now mesh cleaner works perfectly in 2021, but in 2022 this tool doesn't work. It's not created for that because it's a different way of baking the navigational mesh now. So it all gets messed up. So the AI is, let's say, walking here, and he comes here, and then suddenly he wants to walk up here, but he cannot. Because you have the roaming point from the AI script that is trying to find a pet and then roam from one point to another. But because it's baked here on top, he wants to go here, but there's no way for him to go up. So then he gets confused. So now I need to clean this up. See how like screwed up it is? So that's why I'm warning everybody, don't update from 2021 to 2022 if you have an existing project. It's gonna mess everything up. And the worst thing is they removed this. You can see on top here, navigation static is gone. This is what I was talking about. And now you have to go to each individual object, and especially if you have LODs like I do, you have to go and enable or add that one object, the nav mesh obstacle, to act the same way like navigation static. So imagine now having like thousands objects, right? Which I have so many stuff. Like if I open up all these things, look how much stuff there is. And now I have to go enable one by one. Especially if you don't have prefabs, you are screwed. You cannot select like this, and then edit. It doesn't work. So yeah, good luck to anybody who has updated like me and didn't back up. He pretty much screwed himself just like I did. But like I said, it's not like it's not fixable. It's fixable. It's just gonna set you back. Why am I stuck? What happened? This is crazy. What happened there? That's not good. Gotta figure that out. Okay, let's fix the phone. Let's see what's going on. Contents. Oh, what happened here? Something's not right. Parent has a type of layout group component, and a child of a layout group should not have a constant. Okay, so this does need to have the filter. It's all the way down here. Okay, so I gotta scroll up. That's really strange. Where is it now? All the way up? How do you know when you have to stop? This is crazy. So I cannot move it manually. How did it get so screwed up? Okay, so now we know what it is. It's the vertical layout. I don't need that. Okay, whoa, I missed a lot of stuff. Wait, not moving to the. Have you tried to do your project and then decrease your. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. I tried doing that once and it every time, like when you update to another version, something was missing every time. It's not a good idea. They tell also everybody never downgrade your project. When you have to update it again, it's just gonna mess everything up because you're missing some key stuff that, let's say, when you sometimes go from one version to another, there's a lot of these things that uh, update automatically, and if you go and do it manually, downgrade, because you can, there is no other way, you have to manually do it. You have some RP stuff, some JSON stuff that breaks, that's just impossible to fix. So it's not recommended. You can also just click on the wrong and make it non-walkable object. No, 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 no. I know what you mean. I already also tried that. I tried that. If I make it non-walkable object, right? I'm gonna let you see what happens. What I did is added a box collider that one section and make it so that the box is non-walkable. Yeah, also try that. The problem is it goes so the thing is when you bake on your terrain and you have rocks and those rocks you need to build around it so that the NPC doesn't walk through the rocks, right? So when you add that, like not walkable, what's gonna happen? It's gonna bake underneath the rocks. It's just gonna ignore the rock. You can just also just not include the rock at all. It's you get the same result. So let's say I already tried it. I have this here, right? Boom. Wait, yeah. Yeah, sometimes my W doesn't work. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I understand what you say, like add here and then now mesh, modifier, and then all, and then select it here and make it not walkable. But then, what's gonna happen then? It's not gonna bake on top of it. So when I walk onto the rock here, the pet or whatever cannot follow me onto the rock or the cliff, whatever. So it's just gonna ignore this whole rock and it's just gonna bake underneath it. So what you see here that is ignoring this, it's just gonna bake underneath, and then all these NPCs and everything is just gonna ignore this rock. It's just gonna think there's nothing there. Yo, welcome. So if I make that not walkable, how am I supposed to bake something on top of it like this? So I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain, right? So if I make this non-walkable, like you were saying there, I can just basically not include this object, and I don't even have to add this. Then it's just gonna bake underneath it. But then all these cliffs are gonna be ignored by NPCs and by my pets. They're just gonna walk right through it. If I'm standing here and they're standing here, he's not gonna walk around it. No, he's just gonna walk through it. It's like not existing for the NPC. So see, it's not possible to do that. It's a whole dilemma with the new navigational mesh. It's like I said, if you start fresh, it's okay. But if you start that your project is already, even then, if you start fresh, you're gonna get this stupid things. And that's why have they added like the nav mesh obstacle. But for some reason, when you use this, like I explained it, your NPC and your pets are gonna act weird. They're just gonna get stuck for no reason. It's a whole battle. No, that's why I'm saying like if you need something to, like you can see some of them are put into the ground here and they just need to have walkable places. But I don't want them to bake here, but they do. And that's why I need those objects. It's a whole mess. I don't like the new navigation system. And I don't understand why the navigation mesh cleaner doesn't work in this version. It's just crazy. Let me see, where is it? Others. As you can see, if I enable it, and the thing is, before you could remove this, and now you can't. Now it's gonna bake on top of it. Yeah. Anyway, let's go back. Don't save. I'm gonna start unwrapping some stuff. Okay, is it me or is it loud? I don't know what's going on, why my shit is so loud. How's the sound? So, yeah, I decided I'm gonna start doing some props for the new zone. You can hear me clear? Okay, that's okay. So what time do you have to work later? All right. So let's start making some preparation for UVs. I'm just gonna remove this. Create a new. No, it's not needed. I think we just create a new UV. gonna be 2K texture, and then I'm gonna choose UV grid 32-bit flow. Okay, there we go. Oh my god, what am I doing? So the material, I'm just gonna take so I didn't make one, so we're gonna make now. And then in here, image texture, and then barrel UVs. There we go. Looks like it's already unwrapped. Same here. Okay. Let's do the simple thing first. So I want to select everything around here and then mark seam, and then underneath we just have one. Select everything, unwrap, and then I do want to have the display stretch enabled. I'm gonna select this one, move it away. Okay, the best way is not to be in this mode, but okay, that's a good mode. Like, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna select these two, press S, scale, Y, and then 0, and then again S, Y, 0, and then this one S, and then X, 0. So I'm zeroing the scale out. Oh, I pressed X, right? Scale X, 0, and then switch to 3. Select this, right mouse, follow the quad. What's gonna happen? It's gonna give me perfect UVs, and this way I can put them better into the square. But this is too big, so we're gonna scale it down. 5 p.m. to midnight here, short day, and I'm off tomorrow. All right, that's good. You have a weekend tomorrow. Did you say you use mouse or Wacom? I use Wacom. It's not an expensive one. It's Intuos Pro. Intuos Pro 4. It's a pretty good one. I have it for like 5 years now, and I'm pretty happy with it. When you are painting on top of it, right? It's not like some of the cheaper ones that are slippery, right? It's like you're painting on plastic, and then it's really awkward. This one is really good. It feels like you're painting on a piece of paper. It's not like you're painting on a piece of plastic. So that's why you have like the difference, the more expensive one. And I bought this one a second hand. So, and back then it was like $290 or something. And now they're cheap. That's like 5 years ago. Now you can buy them really cheap. I think Intuos 5 you can buy for maybe 150, and back then it was like 600 something. And you have a good one. So really, so But yeah, today you have like crazy ones. Yeah, they are really expensive. Like I'm not gonna buy something for 2000 when I can get the job done with something because I don't use it all the time, right? It's not like that's the only thing I'm using. So, like some people, they need it for their work and they just work all day with that thing, right? For me, it's just like to block in really fast my textures in. Is the ad coming in? Yeah, the ad is coming in, guys. Ad break. Oh, wait. I was talking, but the ad was playing. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. But yeah, there's other people in here, so I should have. Okay, we're back. We should have checked. Like today, you get when you stream, you get warnings that there's an ad coming in, and then I can warn the people. Oh, wait, we're talking, you know. But yeah, you can also go ad free, right? Pay $10 a month, and you can watch all the Twitch for free with no ads. But I don't mind ads. The only thing is I need to keep in check when I'm talking, so I'm not talking for nothing. Alright, now the next one, we really start like inside. So I really want to think about this because let me see. That's easier to see. Yeah, that's better to see. Is it? Maybe even this one. Yeah, there we go. That's better. So around there, around here, and let me see where the front is. So then I wanna go right there. Mark seams, and let's see what's gonna happen. That's not bad. Look at this. Now I'm gonna go do the same thing. Like this is a good trick to have your UVs be really straight. You just go into the middle, and then we're gonna select Y. So this is always Y, this is always X. So if I select both of them, I press S on my keyboard and I press X after that, you can see the little arrows. That means I'm trying to scale, so S and then X and then 0 on your keyboard. It's gonna give me 0 coordinates in the UV space. Same from this, S, X, 0. And then you change to this. Usually it's 3 on your keyboard. 1 is the with the vertices, 2 is the lines, and 3 is the. Then you select this one, you press right mouse button, follow active with quads. Everything is gonna get straightened out. See this? This is the best way to do your UVs. There's gonna be a nice barrel. But because I just have this and the cork and these two guys underneath, these are also important. We want those guys to be good quality, right? So what I'm gonna do is rotate this and we're gonna get the max out of it. If you scale up, you get more resolution, you get better UVs. So I gotta rethink something. So this is gonna be a little bit too much. gonna scale it down. Important to have good UVs. It's gonna be easy to, like, if I paint this and I don't like it, I can pretty easily switch with something else by just having a square shaped UVs. It's not always possible, right? Sometimes you have organic stuff and it's just, but stuff like this, like cube, let me see, cube, plane, cylinder, cone, and stuff like, you know, normal geometry. So I just want to see like which one is the top, and then I'm gonna maybe just pretty much use the same what is on top and bottom. I'm not sure, so I don't have to. What I can do is just have it in 3D code mirror, so I'm gonna be using both of them. No need to mirror anything, so it's all gonna be unique. Let's just add it like this, scale it up so we have both sides pretty much. I still have to add the Kirk. So what I'm gonna do is maybe use these two next to each other, close as possible. Okay, now unhide the other one. I can make this also have a better resolution. Not bad, right? There we go. Easy barrel on wrap. I don't like how this is less than this. This is a pretty important piece also, so let's see what we can do. Just to maybe have a little bit more out of it, something like this. Okay, now it's too much. Whoa, wrong window. I don't want to do that. I think that's pretty good. Okay, I used to stream for a game, wrote a lot of code stuff for EQ, just never changed it. Yeah, exactly, I can do it the same, but like sometimes if you see here, I do want my barrel to have the most space, right? The barrel, most important, the surrounding. As you can see here, how bigger this is than this. So if I have them like this, I'm still getting pretty decent resolution. If the square is smaller, you know how it works. It's gonna be better resolution. Pixels are gonna get like sharper than this. So it's already pretty decent. So if I have them both like this and I'm gonna be painting in 3D code, I'm gonna turn on my symmetry, and when I paint the top one, it's gonna paint on the bottom exactly the same. and just later I can change something a little bit so it's not looking the same, and I can still get a little bit unique stuff going on, right? Because this is also going to be unique, exactly this piece here. Even though it has depth, you can see here, it's still nicely unwrapped. So this is going to be the metal pieces around it. Let me see. Where are we here? Okay, let's disable this. And remove the fog. So yeah, this is the camp that I'm going to be starting to block in the first shapes of the texture. So this is the barrel. So there's a lot of stuff here. Yeah, this is also going to be a different textures. These are just placeholders. Just something like a rough sketch. What's happening here? Why is my post-processing not working? That is strange. So what happened to the post-processing? I don't know. That's so weird, like when you select the camera and you go back to the scene and you try to, it's messing something up, and now it's smoother and suddenly not. Like, why is that? What's going on? Yeah, post-processing is just broken. Interesting. Anyway, moving on. Alright, so let's see, what does this have? At the UV map and UV map. Okay. So always remove the outer smooth when you're going to any painting tool. Why? Because it adds sharp edges, and you don't want to paint on sharp edges. You want it to be like a smooth shader, so you can do your own hard edges, right? Or it's gonna be really difficult to paint, and when you paint and you have your UV seams going on, right? Those edges, if it's enabled smooth, they are gonna mess it up. So this is basically you enabling your normals, right? and having normals enabled, going to another program where you're gonna be painting, it's gonna mess something up. I don't know. I find it out the hard way, right? I made that mistake. I couldn't understand why it was happening until I one time just disabled this and I exported it like with a normal shader, and then it was much easier to handle. So yeah, maybe I'm doing still something like wrong. Maybe you can export like this and then in 3D Code apply something, I don't know, but for now this is the way it works. Yeah, 3D Code is a program you must have. Like, it's such an underrated program. Like, but people are starting to wake up and see that this is a great program. You can do anything you want here. Anything. Like, literally, you can paint like textures like this to sculpt. And it's not even that expensive. You can sculpt, you can model in it, you can do everything like ZBrush can. You can do everything what Blender can do. It's just that I'm used to Blender when I'm modeling much more than, but this program can do anything you like. It's an amazing program. People need to know that. And you can rent it to own, and then every month for 12 months long, if you pay like 50 euro, I don't know how much that is in dollars. I think maybe 55, something like that, because euro is higher, right? After 12 months, it's gonna be yours, and you can keep updating forever. Now I own it. So basically you rent to own. Look at game mode and not scene mode. Yeah, but this scene mode, it's supposed to be working also. The thing is, I changed lately the post-processing to be found. How can I explain this? I added this script. You can see here, post-processing. I added this a line to find my player with tag. So, because before I had this post-processing trigger on my camera, but the thing is, if you use it on your camera and your player is here and you zoom out this far, your camera is gonna be the one that is triggering the post-processing effect. And sometimes I was standing here and my camera was zoomed out this far and it already transitioned my post-processing. So I want my player to be added here. So when my player walks over this line, the player is gonna trigger the post-processing volume, and then it's gonna trigger much smoother exactly when the player walks into the area and not when the camera walks. Because sometimes you have here the region and the post-processing volume, and then you're standing there, but when you're rotating with the camera, it's gonna switch, and then you rotate back, it's gonna switch. It looks so bad. I don't want my camera to be affecting the post-processing. I want my player to affect it. So only when the player walks over the line, it's slowly gonna fade in and fade out. And I don't know why they did it this way, but apparently it only works if you add it to your camera, because post-processing layer you cannot add anywhere else except your camera. So if you're interested in having your player trigger your volume, like your post-processing volume, just go into the code post-processing layer and go in 245 and just add this line of code, and it's gonna find the player tag. You can create any tag. I would not create any other tag because only your player uses the tag, right? But why can we not add manually here? Because RPG Builder instantiates the player on play mode. So you cannot just go here and add your, especially if you have different races. And now it always picks the correct race when I press play and I choose a race. It's always gonna add it here because of this line of code, right? It's gonna find my player that has player tag. So basically the tag here is gonna be player, right? It's so much better. You're gonna see the transition, like when you're standing in the game and you're rotating around it and your camera triggers, like it's suddenly a different post-processing effect, and you go back again, you rotate, and suddenly you have this weird effect going on, switching from one post-processing to another, and it just doesn't look okay. No, we want the player to trigger that, so you're always gonna be walking with the player and it's gonna smoothly transition you. You're not gonna even notice it. But with the other options where your camera has this trigger, it's always gonna notice it, especially when you like rotating around it, right? Yeah, anyway, let's see, imports. Okay, everything is okay. Rotate around the last point. Okay, props. Okay, what kind of color is gonna be is also important, the base color, right? What kind of wood is it gonna be? Yeah, don't worry too much about it. You can always go into Photoshop and play around with different textures. Even though you have painted everything in certain colors, you can always go and play around in Photoshop. Like, you know how it works. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go more with this. But let's first remove it. Yeah, that's better. So add symmetry. It's off. Why is it off? No. It's not off. Okay, sometimes that happens and I don't know why. How's this off? That one is okay. The most important one, the red one, is supposed to be here. How? That's crazy. Why is it not letting me pick? I don't understand why that sometimes happens. And I don't know how to fix it. I just have to do it like this, but the problem here now is if I enable the other two, they're gonna be off. Oh my god, it's so sad. Like what? Who comes up with this stuff, right? You can definitely see it's zeroed out. 100%. You can see the red one and the green one going exactly through the middle. Yep, no doubt. Red and the green going exactly through the middle. So why? It's crazy. Wait. Imports. Let's try it. Okay, now it's flipped on its side. Even worse. So that's why. That's not the one then. Is that all? All the settings? Node center snap. What does that mean? Wait. 3D code tries to move bounds of the model to the origin. Okay. Check this box if you want import model as is without any centering. Okay, so this must be it. Right? Sounded good. Nope. Well, yes, but now the bottom part is not correct. This one should be here. What does this mean? Local space, global space. Oh, I can pick in local space, global space, generic space. Global, local, generic. Okay, let's enable the mesh. So now it's centered, but the bottom part is not. How can we fix that? It needs to be right there. So if I disable both and go into the Y, can I just pick Y to be manipulated? What does this even mean? Pick symmetry center from the bound box of the current object axis. Okay, I don't know what that means. Huh. Can I undo? Local space. Hey. Now let's hope the other two's... No. Like, why is it moving the other two? I don't understand that. Like, why does it have to screw up the other one? Like, why? What's the deal with this? That's not right. Well, then we just have to paint the other one. But it's strange that... Like, why would that not work, right? I wanna know what this is. Okay, now I see. Reset. I think now we know. This one needs to go 50. Okay. Now only that one is moving. So let's try 1000. Where is it? 250. 500. 700. Now we're getting somewhere. So let's say 900. 1000. 1200. Okay, so it's 1150. 1155. Boom. Almost 1156. 57. It's probably 60, but yeah, it's 60. I think then it's gonna be exactly. No, it's 58. 59. 58. Needs to go a little bit back. 57. It is 56. Or 55. 55, I still see. Nope. So 55.5. There we go. Okay, I did not know that. I just learned this. Now we can paint like in all directions. It's gonna help so much speeding up the process. Which then it's gonna get turned off later on, and then add little individual because the UV is all unique, and then add individual little details so it stands out. It's not like repeated, but this way it's gonna get speed up so much faster. I don't have to go all the way around and paint blocking the main shapes, right? All right, now we can turn the planes off, symmetry is on, and then still think I want to have like yellow wood, yellowish. Okay. Add a new layer. Think the metal is gonna be light blue, gray. Okay, let me get the pen. So you can also do your view orthographic, and it's gonna make it so much easier to work with because it's almost like flat from the sides. If you straighten it out, you can see the difference in perspective. It's gonna curve more, and then orthographic, it's just so much easier to paint on. And you do wanna have a sharp brush. Let's bring this in. See how much faster it goes. And I think now I'm gonna switch to normal shader, flat shader. It's gonna be easier to paint it all in. Just flip it to the other side. It looks like everything works perfectly. Of course, now I gotta enable the other shader again so we can see better. So this is all just like blocking in, so I don't really care too much about perfection, because you can always go back in here and fix that. Like you can always detach this window. And oh, what just happened? And scale it up and work into the plane, like make things even better if it's gonna be difficult to select. Just need to paint in the main shapes so we know what is. I think now I can go into the flats. Alright, so now select this again, and now we go and do it's a little bit too dark, so let's undo that. And do the wooden planks, right? So I think it would be smarter now to go back to perspective. Also, never forget, add another layer. And try to dock that layer underneath the metal. So if you go over like this, it will not paint on the metal, right? That's what is cool about 3D Code. You can have layers. In Blender, I love the tools to paint, but you don't have this kind of a freedom. That's why this program is so much better for hand painted stuff. And you get used to the brushes because you can also add your own brushes. You can create them in Photoshop and bring them in here. Which makes it so much better having your own brushes. You know how to create brushes if you know how to use Photoshop. It's the same. It's the alphas. These are all my brushes. I imported them. Well, not my brushes exactly. These are made somewhere else, but I mean like you can import your own brushes. What I mean by that, somebody else created them and I just imported them. It's just like transparency, the same brush you use for Photoshop. So see how much easier this is, like if you have objects like this that you have to paint at once. And like I said, it's gonna look all the same, but it doesn't matter because later you just turn off the mirror, the symmetry, and you just start adding these things like little changes into the wood. Oh my god. Little changes into the wood, which is gonna make it look unique. See, even the bottom is done. I don't have to touch anything anymore. Now, let's say base metal. Highlights. And select this. This is just to show the edges, right? Later on there will be like better highlights painted. But like I said, I don't like to finalize anything yet. I'm just blocking in some textures. A rough sketch, put it into the game, play around a little bit with it and see what's what. And then if I decide this looks good, then I'm gonna go back in here and clean everything out, make it nice. But like with hand painted stuff, you should not be like too difficult in the beginning. Just like do the basic stuff, right? Focus on the oh, wait a second. Focus on the basic stuff. I missed this part here. Also here. Holy snap. Wait a second. So it looks like the Blender model, even though I have used mirrors on this. Okay, one thing I forgot to tell. If you want in here to have everything be mirrored exactly the same, when you're creating in Blender, you do have to use also mirrors here. Like what I did here is basically went to the front like this, removed this, deleted faces, the bottom, deleted faces, turn the other way around. Okay, so I removed this one, but it was here, right? Edit now, you can edit. You can later remove it, no need for it. But basically just to show you why everything is aligning so good, right? Because all of this was mirrored exactly how it's supposed to be. Now if I add in here and I add mirror, you see it's gonna be, now you scale it down and then you bring this up like this. And then select everything, mesh, clean up, and then merge by distance. Or you just select it like this, scale it a little bit more down. Second, why is that not? It still needs to be a little bit more up. Yep. And it's just gonna merge because I have this on top enabled. You can see it merged automatically. And now if you export, right, here, that's why everything is aligning so good. So that's usually how the best way how to model stuff is like that. Yeah. So then this is gonna be exactly the same. It wouldn't be the same if I had made something underneath different, and if I then try to paint, it's not gonna work with it. So yeah, it's a little bit off, but that's just because I have not set the mirror correct. Okay. Another one here. Put highlights. And take a little bit brighter color. And start adding those. Like I said, don't worry too much about them being perfect. You can always paint them out, right? This is just about blocking in showing the shapes, showing where those wood pieces are, right? So it's like carving. You're adding the bevels. You can even get away with this, like add like a darker piece here, like that. So like it's even though it was a mistake because of the angle. Yeah, stuff like that. That would come later, like adding the details, the little things. Gonna make it stand out. You can always see things behaving like that on the object. There's always like the shadows and then the highlights, and that creates like the depth of the object. All right. What buttons? Let's start with. That's not the middle. Okay, so this is the middle. All right. And then later I will just slightly rotate this in the UVs in here. Then it's not gonna be looking disaligned, like it's gonna be not perfect like this. It should not be aligning with this. So just taking that and rotating it a little bit off, it's gonna make a little bit more sense. Then this board, they're gonna be not aligning exactly. Something you never want to do, like when creating the barrels. Okay. Not really important right now. Okay, and then the base metal. Shadow. You know, like the occlusion stuff. So it separates even this piece of the metal from the barrel. It's just gonna look so much better. So those are those little steps that make objects stand out from each other. Like just in real life, you know there is a shadow there. It separates those two elements. See how it's slowly starting to come together, like, and I'm really not doing my best, like, to immediately make it look perfect. It's not needed. You just have to do those basic things, and then once you start to really start to add the details, you're gonna focus more on the cleanliness of the object. But like I said, I don't do that because it would be waste of time. If I don't like how this looks in game, I can remove it easily. Well, not remove it, I mean just like start with different shapes, with different way of adding it in there. You don't have to exactly follow this, what I just followed, like the mesh. You can even go even crazier, right? Make even more of the wooden panels, right? You don't even have to add them exactly in the middle. You can have some of them a little bit smaller. You know what I mean, like go crazy. I just want the barrel to be like this. I think for now, maybe later we add more. It looks good to me for the beginning. PogChamp. So in 3D Code you have these shaders. Like if you press on 1, it gives you just the mesh without any textures. If you press 2, you get a flat shader. 3, you get this. 4, you get this. 5, you get this. And then you can remove the what is it called? The polygons, the vertices, the mesh with W. So if you see the green mesh surrounding it, that's just W, pressing W on the. And then here on top you have, if you press on the camera, rotate around last draw point. That means if I press this, if I paint here and I rotate, you can see a pivot point, it's gonna add himself there. So if I go here and I rotate, it's gonna add himself there. So this is gonna make it so much easier when you zoom in and you're painting the little details, right? And you're going all crazy and adding some wood texture to it, right? And you wanna rotate, see how much easier it works than when it only rotates around one point. So it's basically just following every step you do, and you don't get sometimes this behavior that the barrel in Nenke goes there when you rotate, or it goes there. It just stays exactly where you want it to be. Okay, so I'm seeing my geometry and symmetry is not the best. Still missing on some of the spots. Let me see. Yeah. No, it's good. I don't know, it's a little bit strange. But yeah, always once you block in those shapes and those main things that you can see like this, the highlights. Then you can turn it on to, you press 2 on your keyboard. This is the basic shader, and this is the flat shader. It's easier to paint on this. Also recently they just added this, right? You can see where your front is, where your back is, where your top is, where your bottom is. Pretty cool. So this is right, this is back, this is left, and this is front. And this is what I want to have. Like, we start from the front. Let's just slowly start adding some little details. Weight. Put highlights, there we go. So gotta be careful with that, right? It's kinda sometimes a little bit annoying, because if you don't focus and you're painting on the wrong layer, it's not that big of a deal. You can fix that pretty easy. You just duplicate the layer, erase and delete the other one. Because keep in mind, it's always good to have separate layers. If you mess up, it's easy to erase the things, right? Then if you use everything on one same layer. Okay, now I'm gonna enable this. Go in here. You're just gonna start adding the occlusion here. Ooh, forget about the mirror. Yeah, that's gonna happen. It doesn't matter, it adds to it. Alright. Let me see. Oh yeah, it's all in the default. Where is that? So let's add a layer here and add some grains, some dirt. See how I keep the layer on all these other layers, so it's only painting on above this layer. So it's not affecting my metal. How much easier it works like that. And it just gives more texture to everything. Right? So let's take some of these and then add another layer. Too big? Okay, and then here you go. This is so powerful. you can choose everything that is in Photoshop and even more. Just to add more detail to your texture. What about multiply? And then just slowly add something like 50. Maybe this is a little bit too big, this thing. Did I make a mistake? Doesn't matter, I can fix this always later. It's just only gonna be like, if I scale it down, I have to fix the occlusion. But it's not that important, it's easy. But yeah, I have a feeling it's a little bit too big. Anyway, yeah, now we need more of this stuff. Yeah, maybe that's the one. That's gonna be overlay. So give it a little bit of a color. So now I can disable the symmetry, right? Now you don't want to have any like wood cracks or whatever. They don't want to be the same. So just roughly, I want them to be there. Later, we're gonna like make them really stand out. So like I would be going in here and really cutting into that wood. But that's all like later detail stage, which is not needed right now. Now I just have to add them in here so they're noticeable. Basically, you are creating the wood cracks. Wood highlights. It's all gonna be when the detail stage kicks in. It's gonna be fun to do it. Maybe we want one of these. Oh my god, I forgot. It's supposed to be on the detail, now it's on the highlights. Fuck. I think I can merge those two later on, so yeah, it doesn't matter. Just keep it here. It's gonna be the same. So this is definitely gonna blow up in the game engine, so definitely gonna make those a little bit less noticeable. But I wanna have those sometimes like be a little bit thicker. Feel like they are not all the way connected very well. What are they called? The bevels. So then the wood looks a little bit more like it has more depth. Wait. What's going on? Pattern. Yeah. Damn it. Nope, that's not smart. So something like that makes them stand out a little bit more. But again, it's all detailing stage, but it's nice to have like already something blocked in. So don't spend too much time on that. Okay, it doesn't matter. I know I'm painting on wrong layer, but those are all gonna be connected together anyway. Those couple of wooden things. This is just for now, so it's separating easier from the metal, as long as those are not connected together. Like later on you can just connect those. It's already starting to take shape, and believe it or not, this is like just a rough stage. This is not even close by what it's gonna be looking like as a final version, right? But this is why it's so much easier to hand paint stuff when you are not trying to make it immediately look great, right? It's not gonna work. It's all these little stages that you're doing, like building up to the point. Like with anything pretty much that you're, even like when you're painting, when you're sketching something, it's usually you sketch it in, it doesn't look like it's like anything, right? Yet it does give you some kind of idea, but once you really start to add those fine details, it can bring everything together. Then it's gonna look way better. Okay, let's move from that now a little bit and go into base metal highlights and base lights. I just wanna enable the symmetry again and try something out right there. I'm gonna go really low, sample that color, and start playing with the metal. Where the frick did that come from? Whoa. It's a whole process. Like metal is so much more difficult and different, but these are the steps. Well, there's actually much more to it, but I mean like adding the glowy part first. Like if you zoom in, you have, it's actually fake, but it's gonna make more sense once I have it everywhere like that, right? But yeah, it does give you the illusion of the glossiness, like where the light hits. It's pretty simple to do, but yeah. Like if you have on your keyboard, you can have, let me see, yeah, hotkeys. So you can save pretty much anything, like, let me see, where is it? Why can I not find it? Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, sliders. So in the panel, you have all of your, let's say, tools. You have alphas, brush, color palette, curves. In the sliders, you have like this. You can set your shortcuts, right? For like if I go into here, pick color, I put it on the S, right? So now every time I sample, you can see I'm pressing on S button, and then you can pretty much do this blending stuff, right? Which is every time I start really rough, and every time I go down, I sample less color until I make a gradient, right? And then you get this. You can see how different it is from this. It's starting to look like you was hitting the metal, right? And it's bending here. And it's starting to give me. And then if you lose this, you just press again with the S, and you just add again a little bit stronger light color. And then from there you just sample. And sometimes I don't know why this happens. Where does that come from? I don't know. The color picker sometimes gets all messed up. But yeah, that's how you do it. Like pretty much create that effect. And like I said, this is like not the best blending right now, but this is how it works. Like those steps I'm putting in. You just sample and you just keep like dot, you know, like dot like this. And that's how you can blend it in. By sampling the color, you can see it, he's switching all the time. It's simple as that. Or you can also take like this and paint, but I don't know, it's, for me, this doesn't work really good. Why? Because I want this metal to be like it's struck, and when I do this sampling like this, right, you can see it being struck. And you can take any brush that has like a little bit an uneven like it's uneven, like it's not rounded like this one, and it's gonna give you a good result. But yeah, if you wanna avoid that, it's kind of sometimes it's difficult. You can just do this. Take the normal brush, which most people do, and then just slowly smear it out. It's also a way of doing it. It's all gonna be like unified, but it's easier, just like painting it in. It goes faster. There you go. Almost the same effect. It's more brushing it in, but I like this more. This is kind of subtle. It's nice. It's all the same, right? Blend in. And this is more rough. Yeah, I like it more this way. It's like beat up metal. It's uneven. It's not that smooth. You can see that and this. But yeah, this is, like I said, still a lot to go, but look how much already it adds to the game object, right? Boom. You can also see it on top. It makes it more like metal looking. You can even dial it down. This is why I'm saying, like, you want to have separate layer for this kind of a stuff. Look how much better that already looks, like if I dial it down a little bit. And also you're going to be able to export this one into Unity and use it as a mask to make it shiny. So this is going to be wood and that's going to be shiny. So it's basically also a mask for metalness. You just export to Photoshop. If I'm correct, 3D Code is connected to Photoshop. If you just export to Blender, you can also export to Blender immediately, but also let me see, texture, export. Let me just Google it first. Why am I, like, it's a long time ago that I used it. Export. Using Photoshop and back.
So in this video I want to show you how to work between 3D Code and Photoshop at the same time. So there may be cases where you would like to work in 2D and maybe you don't want to use the texture editor within 3D Code. You would like to use Photoshop. So to do that, what you can do is go to Edit and edit all your layers in external.
Yep. Why did I forget it? So edit all your layers in extern editor. If I press this, immediately it's gonna open up Photoshop. Well, not immediately, it takes a while, but I mean, it's gonna pick Photoshop. You don't have to go and say open up Photoshop. And then you can work between that, right? Now you have just your metal. To get it even better, you select this and you select it like this, and then of course you're not gonna use this for metal. I think it's white, so you fill everything in with the white. Oh, okay, I don't know how that happened. And the wider it is, right, it's gonna give you more shininess in Unity. This is your shininess map that you need. Like if I go to the object, and then he is gonna be my metal, he is gonna be your metal, right? You just drag it here, and then it's only gonna affect that. It's not gonna affect your albedo wood. So basically this would be way over the top, right? So I would be going something like this. It's gonna be nice and shiny. Maybe even less. And you can also like add a new layer here, right? And exactly where I painted in those shiny parts that they are gonna be more shiny, like here, you can see them here and here. So exactly there, you would be taking a different layer. Is this, let me see. Yeah, new layer. And you would be making this darker, so it shines less. Right, and then that would be exactly where the huge shine comes in. So it would be even shining, like standing more out those painted things like this, where you think this is where the light hits on the metal. Yeah, those are the cool tricks that you can do with 3D Code and Photoshop. How did that happen? Here we go. Yeah, keep in mind Photoshop is cheeky. When you close it, it still has things open in the background, and it's gonna slow your PC down. Yo, hello. Sorry if I missed that. I'm not paying attention to my chat. Is not so active all the time, so sorry about that. How are you doing? Let's see something. Did I save everything? Well, it just... I don't have to close a lot of stuff. Everything is working great so far, so... Okay, so that's the metal piece, right? The shininess. Now I'm gonna disable that one, and we're gonna add another one, and say metal, dirt, rust. We want to have like a little bit dirt and rust here and there. So I'm gonna sample this color and maybe a little bit darker. Go to the default again and have a little bit dirt on the metal. Maybe a little bit stronger. So it's not like that flat, right? So once we enable this, it's gonna give us a better look to the texture than just like flat and then shiny. Let's see. Maybe we do edit on top. There we go. And then screen, no. Overlay. And then take it down a notch. You get this. Even better. Look at how much that adds. Maybe even less. 30. Just that little darker on the ground. You can see it also here change. So the shiny parts pop out even better. So these are the steps. You can pretty much follow the steps, right? The base color, wood grain, wood dirt, wood color, wood detail. Well, I moved some layers, but yeah, I think it would start like this. Base wood, wood pattern, right? So exactly where the wood is. You can also see it in the mesh. Then wood highlights, wood detail, and then a bit of color, dirt, and wood grain. Then the metal pieces. Okay, let's disable the symmetry. So yeah, like I said, this is gonna be like once I start adding details to the stuff, right? Like these cracks. Right now they're just like roughly blocked in. So the detail stage would be like 100 on the max, and then the correct shadow, it would be like carved exactly like it's supposed to be. It would be blend in much better. The highlights would hit better, would be much cleaner and nicer, and you would be able to recognize the detail much better. But right now that's not important. Right now we are just establishing the base shapes and seeing does it fit to the barrel or not. And if I don't like how the cracks are behaving, like I already see it's way too busy, way too much. So your eye is gonna distract way too much from it. So that means now, because I did not put a lot of work into it, I can easily clean out some stuff. Like let's say I don't like this here, it's way too much, way overpowering. Why? Because the other one next to it is also like way too much. We can just remove some stuff, it's way overpowering, and make it much cleaner. Why is that happening? Oh yeah, I don't have the layer locked, so I'm gonna be sampling from it. So now you immediately can see like it does make a little bit more sense than before, like it was way too busy, right? Like if I again zoom in here, it's way too busy. And if you look at in here, it's much better. And I'll just go in there, and those shapes that are still there, just make them a little bit more noticeable. But remove a lot of the busyness, which is gonna make it look so much better when you zoom out, so much cleaner. But in the beginning, you just need to put them down. That's why I'm saying like don't waste too much time of thinking, oh, does it look good or not? Just add them and just paint some of them out. Make it busy and then clean it out. It's gonna make it so much easier for you to paint. It's gonna be fun than trying immediately painting something perfect. It doesn't work like that. It works like that if you're really, really good and you know what you're doing and you can immediately put it down. But most of the people, you can see anything they paint, it's all building up to those stages. And why is that? Which I think also it gives much better results than when you're trying to paint something immediately good and you spend way too much time on it. And sometimes the result can be nice painted, but the result can be really overpowering or weird, or it doesn't fit, or it doesn't matter how nice it is painted, right? But if you just get out of the way and just add something in there, it makes it much easier to eliminate something than when you spend a lot of time on it and it looks so good and then you have to eliminate it. Then it kind of can hurt. Like, oh no, that detail is really so good, but it doesn't fit. Right? Yeah, that's my process. I mean, everybody has their own process, but eventually it's all the same. Like the way you have to build up before you start to add the detail. It's just so much easier. to deal with the bullshit. Okay, it looks a little bit like barrel, a starting of a texture, but definitely gonna work a little bit of this side. So definitely don't want to have the mirror on here. Forgot NT. All right. Okay, so let me see. This can be merged down. This can be merged down. Same for this. So wood highlights with detail, we can leave that. So wood button. Right. Hmm. Why is there no music? Yes. Still listening. Annoying. a second. Save as. I didn't even save it once. Luckily, it didn't crash. View the graphic. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all. Video props. Alright, not bad so far. Still a long way to go if this is going to be a decent looking barrel. And there we go. Once we enable this, everything gets much better. But yeah, like I said, now I want to do this. You're gonna see what I mean. Something like that. What just happened? Make it make sense. Please. Hang on. What the hell? Oh my god, how did I enable that? So like I said, once I start to go in there and really hit the detail and the bevels in the edges, then those are gonna pop even more. That's gonna be like separate wood pieces. Right now it's just a rough sketch. Doesn't make much sense. You don't see like the beginning of the bevels and the beginning of the highlights, and then the cracks, they don't really stand much out because of that. So once I really start to go in here and push in more like the wood bevel from both sides, it's gonna make more sense. But just cleaning this out, maybe I can show a little bit like right now. Go 100, add a test, and then select a real sharp brush. Let's add this all the way onto the top. What is happening? There we go. But yeah, that takes time. It's like just bringing out that bevel from that wood. So, and then when you hit the next one, but yeah, that's detail stage, right? You gotta take your time for that. It immediately, and it's still not there, right? I still have to push it, like, but you get the point, right? Like making those bevels on the wood pieces stand out. Just gonna make them look more in depth. Important to have the bevels on the edges. And also I'm not hitting the right color right now. The way it's blending, it doesn't fit together. Yeah, you get the point. The detail stage, it takes time. And maybe not going 100, maybe 80. It's a good one, because then it's gonna blend a little bit better. Maybe not full sharp brush, just a little bit next to it. So let's see if I'm right. Yeah, I think that's the one. Maybe even this one. Like it's really about adding the bevels in here and also blending with the rest of the wood. but giving it the depth. Like I said, really important to have it blend very well. But yeah, detailing stage takes time. It's the fine part of the texture. Already a little bit better, even though it's not there yet. Like, this is a little bit lost, and then this is a little bit more pulled together. Yeah. I just did not take the time to make it make more sense, but it does show like what I mean, right? Like, lost doesn't have any, it doesn't stand out, and then it stands out. And then I would go in here and start cleaning out the weird pattern of the texture, because like hand painted stuff is more cleaner like this. I would be going in here and removing all of the like the dirt and then suddenly you get really clean. Even more here. Clean piece of wood. Right. And it suddenly makes more sense. It's not that busy. Make it make more sense. But yeah, these are not standing out because I didn't go and do the real piece where they need to stand out. Right. This is just a fast sketch. So much improvement. Yeah, can get lost in this. It's so much fun. That's why it's so much like easier to do this if you don't try doing it immediately. Like you just do something like this. Wood is pretty easy to do. You can see here how much less this looks. And it still needs a lot of work. Still too dirty. Some pieces don't make any sense. And also sometimes, like, let's say this is way too much. Like, they don't have to all be broken on the edges. You just clean it out. Right? Maybe just a little cut here. So let's say those are way too busy. Let's clean this guy out. Make it make sense. Right? You don't need this to be always broken on the edges. So this is like what I said, like adding and then cleaning it out can make such a difference. Can make it really stand out. There. I just removed a couple of those weird spots. You can still have like light a little bit over the grain. So much better. Yeah, that's the whole process, like playing around with it. Maybe even this, one of these, just make it go away. There. Way too wide. There. Yeah, it looks like wood to me, so like I said, you can still even push that even further, even more, to the point where it really doesn't have too much distraction going on, but like every piece makes sense. And like never be hesitate to remove something. Or to add something. Again, that's way overpowering. Even this. Let's move this like that. Much better. So with this piece here, let's keep it one word. Much better. And edit on the bottom. So yeah, 80, 81, it's the good brush, and then have the second one from the beginning. It's the same. Yeah. Yeah. Time is it? Alright, this is it for me. Thanks for watching.